Good morning, everybody. How are you? Stand up again, man, and slap your neighbor a high five and say, I'm glad you get to see me. Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Albright. Thank you.
This guy has changed my life.
Thank you, Andy.
Love you, buddy.
I love you
so
man.
much.
I appreciate you. All right, that's enough of that, man. I would like for you, as you sit down, look at him and say, I can't help it. I'm going to make more money than you. I just want to let you know that. Well, Andy and Jane, so can you give me 10 minutes of just uninterrupted thought? Will you let me do it? And will you take some notes? Because I promise you what I'm going to give you will change your life and build you a legacy that'll blow your mind. I am so honored to be here. It's so good to be back in the house. Andy and Jane, thank you for the privilege and the honor. I never, ever, ever take it lightly. And I'm just so grateful. I'm so excited for your success. We've dreamed about this for a lot of years. And I remember the day, and then I'm going, so get ready, okay? I remember the day in the office I was standing with Andy, and he said, can you tell me who's next? And I said, well, give me a couple months. And I had no idea that God's hand on your life, Paul Roberts, was what it was. And I knew it, but then seeing Andy see it and believe it and pour into it is it's an example to me, so I appreciate it. If you haven't figured it out yet, you brand new people, and even those of you that have been here a while, this is not your daddy's insurance. It's a whole new world Andy Albright is creating. I love visionaries and I love dreamers, and I love the fact that we get to look at the peak of this summit. I wish I had a chance to have a cup of coffee with every one of you, just you and me. And I'd love to look into your soul while you look into my eyes, and I want to ask you a question. What does the summit mean to you? What does success mean to you? What does success look like to you? And I want to just give you an acrostic real quick, because I believe that everybody in this room wants to be a success. Am I right? Let me ask that again one more time. I don't want to be speaking to an Avon convention today. I want to know, does everybody in this room want to be a success? I got to know it. All right, so I'm going to ask you for about 10 minutes to give me passion. Are you ready? All right. So you want to be a success. Am I right? I don't think anybody ever had a baby and went, boy, I hope this one's a loser. I just hope this one hauls off and is the biggest disappointment ever in the history of mankind. I don't think any lady has ever held a baby and went, Rocky, my baby, be a big loser. We're hoping. No. I think we have children and we look at them and go, what will this life do to impact the world? Me and you, I got to talk to you for 30 seconds. Are you ready? You are not a mistake. You are not You have been told that's what you were, but I promise you that's not who you are. You have destiny on you, and I came to ask you this morning, don't let your destiny get in the way of your legacy. Don't be so focused on what you are trying to build for you that you miss what you're supposed to hand to the next generation. Andy Albright just created something and has for a lot of years that will way outlast him. Jane has done that. I love it. Let me tell you why I love Paul Roberts. Just 1 second and I'll move faster, okay? Is that he loves Andy Albright probably more than any other man in this room. And he loves and respects him. You got to find out in life that if you want to be a success and reach the summit, and you've got to decide, because I coach guys that their definition of success is all the things that you would think it would be. Money, time, freedom, cars. But I also spend time with people that honestly, it's a mama who hasn't been able to feed her children and she can't get free from an addiction. And her definition of success is, God, help me feed my babies. Now, we as people have got to be willing to reach those both levels of people. So, are you ready? I want to talk to you about being a real success. Can I do it? Say real. Say get real. I'm going to be real. Let me tell you, most of us focus on being right, and people would rather you be real than right every day of their life. You don't know everything. I don't know everything. My wife tells me I don't know everything, and I'm appreciative of that. You know what I'm talking about? So what does the R stands for? The R stands for relationships. All morning long, I've listened to people talk, and they talk about their relationships. Can I ask you a question? Just me and you, no one else. How good are you at relationships? How good are you? How connected are you? How discerning are you? How on top of your game? Can you look in the eyes of another human being and see their uniqueness and see their specialness? Do you understand how powerful relationships are? Because relationships tell me when people get around me if they can see the greatness that's inside of me. And if you're continually around people that all they can see is your mistakes and your moments in your life that you're ashamed of, you don't have a future. All you can do is see the past. Are you okay? Two of you. All right, so here's what I want you to know. You got to be a real success. You've got to understand the power that comes together in relationships. It's what causes the alliance. Do you realize if we get together, look at somebody and say together. Do you understand the power of together? Two are better than one, am I right? Because they get a greater return on their work. Look, I've had a lot of people in my life, and so have you. But I was grateful for the day that Andy Albright came into my life. I love you, buddy. He not only believed in me, he not only saw in me, but he helped me. He did that for Paul, he did that for Fitz. He's done that for more people than you will ever probably even know their name. How many people are you helping right now that people won't even know their names? The truth of it is it's really hard for you to ever really truly know your legacy, because it's really when you're gone that you're going to find out what outlived you, what outlasted you, what outgrew you. And moms, today we got Paul's mother here, and she is an example to all of us that a mama who sets an example is a powerful, powerful thing. And that only happens in relationships. Would you agree with me that words are cheap? You can say about anything you want to. But example is everything. There's a little girl sitting in the back of the room. I met her 35 years ago. Her name is Gay. She's my wife. She forever changed my life. We just celebrated 30 years of marriage, and I know we're way young compared to some of you. Yes, I know. But can I tell you? It humbled me so much, because probably the number one thing when people text me or sent me cards was, thank you for your example. Thank you for your example. I would say, men, this world needs examples of warriors and fighters and dreamers and visionaries, of people that won't give up. They resist the temptation to quit. And that happens when you hang around relationships. Can I tell you, most of us in this room are ready to go to another level, and you are not completely bought in to the people that are irritating you right now, telling you of your greatness and what you can be, because they're trying to get you to stop some bad habits and start some new habits. How many of you know that can be really irritating? Right relationships. Most of you are 5 people away from a totally different life. Some of you are going to have to go home and spend less time with people that don't understand who you are. So the power, someone to believe in you, someone to dream with you, to understand your hope, to understand your calling. Do you know what your calling is? Your calling is a purpose with a divine touch on it. So there's only two things you can give people. You can give people in relationships, you can give them an opportunity, but the most important thing you can give them is an example. And let me give you another word for opportunity. Are you ready? Opportunity is actually an invitation. I invite you. This weekend you're going to be invited to be a partner. I can tell you without even talking to you, if you do not get around right people, if you do not change your image of you, your identity, you won't be it. Our greatest joys and our greatest pains come through people. Would you agree? I train a lot of teenagers, and I sit down with them and I ask them, I say, tell me about your greatest joy and your greatest pain. Do you know what it always starts with? Well, I had these friends. People are your greatest joy or your greatest pain. In marriage, it will either be your greatest joy or it will be your greatest pain. You get to decide. I would also tell you the R stands for reset, and I'm going to move very quickly. Right now, every one of us have got to reset our minds. You cannot go into the future with yesterday's thoughts. You can't do it. You can't go in tomorrow's future with yesterday's vision and identity of yourself. Allow me, I'm a pastor, so you got to give me a grace on this, all right? But anytime God or Jesus ever talked to somebody, the first thing he did was change their name. Why? Because he was saying, your yesterdays are behind you. Step into the new you, because you are going to make a difference in this world. Do you hear me? It's going to happen. And Andy Albright is creating the environment in this relationships for you to reset your mind, your dreams, your habits, and even your relationships. The E stands for education. If you think that education is expensive, just try ignorance, right? Here's the problem. Write it down even if you don't agree with it, please. What we know, what I know, is keeping me from knowing what I need to know. Right now, what you're so certain of is certainly keeping you from what you should be and could be. I'm not saying that you're not smart. I just know this, that life is full of learning. Life is full of learning. Can I give you something? If anybody in the room is going through a hard time, you got somebody sick, you got somebody that you can't understand what's going on in your world, can I give you 4 simple little truths that will change your life? Are you ready? If you're ready, say ready, please. Number 1, God has a plan. Number 2, don't be offended by that, please. Number 2, his timing is always perfect. It may not be your timing, may not be your plan, but I promise you he's got a plan. One of the things I admire about Andy is he continually keeps walking in the plan. What he can't see right now, he's going to see. Some of us right now, we won't obey until we completely understand, and you will never know success at the level that you need to know it until you can obey without fully understanding. Okay, I'm better than you think. The third is you've got nothing to fear. You've got nothing to fear. Do you know why relationships matter? Because people believe in you and they'll put courage and hope and encouragement into your soul. I can't tell you the day this man right here, has poured encouragement into my heart. And I want to say thank you publicly, Andy Albright, when you didn't even know it. Some days he laughed at my pain, and believe it or not, that helped me. You are a mess. I poured my heart out when I first met him, and I thought, man, this guy really gets it. He called me the next morning, and he goes, could you tell me that story one more time? I'm like, no, I'm not going to tell you that story one more time. Hey, we got nothing to fear. Are you right? How many are going to leave here and not allow fear to dominate your life anymore? No more. I'm not going to be afraid I'm not good enough. I'm not going to be afraid she's going to leave me. I'm not going to be afraid he doesn't love me. I'm not going to be afraid of the phone. I will not let fear dominate my life anymore. Can I just hear a yes? Come on, man. We got to get fear out of the way. Fear Fear is keeping you from your destiny. Fear is keeping you small when you should be big. Don't play small. Do you hear me? You may have never heard this before. Your daddy may have never said it, but I came down here to tell you, don't you play small. Come on, man, there's greatness in you, and you got to step into it. It will not be given to you. You can get great mentors, but you're still going to have to struggle. That's the good news. All right? Thank you very much. I better give you the fourth one, and then I'll move on, okay? The fourth one is we got a lot to learn. I got a lot to learn, don't you? I had a lot to learn about people, man. People blew me away. I didn't understand. The A stands for attitude. I used to think you just had a great attitude. I thought people just woke up and went, oh, it's such a beautiful day. I'd be like, you give me about 4 cups of coffee and I'll get even with you. But can I tell you, I just thought people were like, ah! I didn't realize it was a choice. You get to choose your attitude. My daughter wrote a song 3 years ago. They rejected it. They told her to rewrite it. She said, I'm not rewriting it. I'll take it out. She went, did a contest, went through 7 things with the Doves. Can I tell you, the lady, one of the judges said, ma'am, will you sing this song? She said, they said I couldn't. She said, I know they said you couldn't, but it's yes on my paper, so will you sing? She sang it. A song that they rejected. That my daughter's attitude is I was given that song and I'm not changing it because of your judgment. Come on, I got some guys in here that need to do that. She sang the song, went through 7 more rounds, won Songwriter of the Year with a song that was rejected. Come on. I'm telling you right now, I got somebody in here. You've been rejected by man, but your dream is about to become a reality. Oh, don't make me start. L, I got to lead. First person I got to lead is me. And I am really hard to lead. I am difficult. I'm rebellious. I'm stubborn. I'm stupid. I said it. Get over it. And so are you. If we got our rear ends kicked for most of the pain in our lives, we couldn't walk for 6 weeks. But we know. My wife and I write a lot of books on marriage. It's amazing what happens in marriage when you don't have to be right, you don't have to think you're in control, and you don't have to have your way. Leaders, it's not about being right. It's about helping people do the right thing at the right time for the right reason in the right way. That changes everything. Let me just say this to you. I love you. I want you to step into your legacy. And a legacy begins right now. The next 90 days of your life can be radically, radically different if you will obey what you do not understand. Dream big dreams. Andy Albright's going to keep creating the culture. I am so honored that my wife and my children get to be a part of your lives. Will you just do me a favor? Do yourself a favor. Breathe in deep the greatness that's inside of you. I love you. Charge.